Hi everyone, thank you for being here. Today we're talking about step number 27, which is remembering the why, and 3 ways for each of us to step back into the real reason why we started this whole thing in the first place. This journey started over 6 months ago, where we wanted to get back to ourselves, get back to our goals, and get back to the excitement that we once had about pursuing the greatest version of ourselves. And that is really what life is supposed to be about, which is our very first thing we'll talk about. Excitement. We're supposed to be excited about life. We're supposed to want to be there, to show up for ourselves and those around us in our greatest joy. Now, this isn't to say, if you're not excited about your life, you're doing it wrong. It's to say that we can step into that joy more often than we are allowing ourselves to be. If we're getting preoccupied with what other people are saying or all these tasks or goals that aren't even ours, and we're giving way too much of ourselves, we're not leaving any time for ourselves. We're not leaving any time for that fun, for that excitement to be pursued, to be invited into our life, for us to be excited about this thing that we're building, which is our life. If there is a goal that you started this journey with, go back to the reason why. And you may say, well, it's because I wanted to be healthier, or I wanted to make more money, or any of these various things that are very important to pursue and very honorable to follow. But underneath it all, there is a feeling that you were chasing. And that feeling probably had to do with peace, freedom, independence, and joy and presence. There is something about feeling present in the moment with your friends, with your partner, with the location that you live in, and just being aware that everything that you're doing is for you. That you may never have painted this type of painting before, but you're doing it with your friends, and it's an exciting moment. Letting in that creativity, letting in that joy into our lives is something that we did naturally as children. We played with our friends, we played with ourselves through coloring or playing pretend or using our imagination in a variety of ways. And that excitement, that willingness to pursue life has been the thing that has moved us forward. Whether you believe it or not, can you think back in your life on the times that you moved forward the quickest or felt most aligned with yourself? It was probably when you were present and excited and showing up without any expectations that would hold you back in some way. All of it was for your own good and for your best self. And that is something that I really had to come to terms with recently, that the whole reason why I want to live and pursue a better life is so that I can be happier, that I can be more free. And that doesn't start when that day suddenly comes and I have this brand new life. It starts every single day. It starts with every decision and every moment that I get to choose. And when somebody says something that's mean or rude, or something's expected of me that I don't think is fair, it's up to me how I react. And if I choose to spend my time thinking about it, complaining about it, worrying about it, then that is my decision and where I'm spending my energy and choosing to spend it. And it doesn't have to be that way. And I remember the excitement that I had towards creating and having fun with life and using different colors and incorporating all sorts of medias into my life to broadcast myself into my work, and that a lot of that went away because I got focused on the mundane. I got bitter. I got upset. I got sad. I got wrapped up in the things that don't matter instead of handing myself over to possibility and the unknown and pursuing pursuits that actually make me the person that I want to be and excited about life. There's a lot of change that's happened in my life over this time that we've done this Rewire and Refocus journey together, and all of that is because I've kept choosing to narrow the direction that I want to go in, to refocus when I got thrown out of orbit, and that this is a lifelong pursuit. Remembering the why, pursuing the why, and becoming clear with it is going to be something that we have to do constantly. We have to keep coming back to it. So whatever it is that you are pursuing or have pursued through this journey, I hope you can look back in your journal or wherever you've been keeping track of this journey and see what the why was. What did you want to feel? How did you want to feel? What have you let go of? What have you felt over these past few months, however long this journey has brought you? What is it that you felt at the end? How have you become better because of it? And are you more excited about life? Are you more present? Are you more willing to show up and do something that you've never done before and being okay with having an odd conversation or being weird or letting the joke fail? Or how are you showing up and being more excited about life? And what other ways can you pursue to do that? Excitement. It is going to make things so much easier because it's going to shift what energy you show up, the way you show up, and how other people are perceiving you and the reactions that you're going to inspire out of people. And this might be a polarizing thing. You might be excited about stuff and people might push back and be annoyed or be even more mean, but that just shows you who should be there and who should not. So excitement, follow it as much as you can. The other thing is being healthier. Healthier in the broadest sense of the term. Healthier with our thoughts, with our behaviors, with our beliefs, with our actions, and healthier in the sense that you feel better after an action, an emotion, a thought has been felt or followed through. Healthier in the sense that when you wake up, you feel better in your body, you feel present with it, you feel excited, right? You want to feel like the greatest version of yourself, which is the healthiest version of you. And that involves going for walks, drinking the water, eating the fruits and vegetables, being aware of what you're taking in, whether that is food or news or other people's behaviors or events. What are you saying yes to? What are you saying no to? And how is that building the greatest version of you? And you've done it. If you have followed these different steps and these different approaches, you have seen the changes within yourself. You've let go of people and their opinions and what they said and what they didn't say, and you've decided to give yourself that foundation, those comments, those beliefs, those affirmations, those pieces of validation that you used to get from other people, you're now used to giving it to yourself. You don't need everybody else to say that you've done a good job because you don't need everyone to know about what you're doing or why. You share it with some people, but at the end of the day, you really don't need to share with anyone because you have learned that the greatest validation comes from you pursuing you, the person you want to be, saving money, eating healthier, showing up for you. And in every decision, you get to choose again. So how are you choosing again? How are you choosing you in every choice that you make? Because every step you take is one that is going to lead you down the path you want or further away. And it's up to you to course correct as this happens. That's why we're refocusing, because it's easy to lose our focus, but the more you refocus, the more you spend time refocusing, you're gonna rewire all of these habits into ones that are ones that are actually working for you instead of against you. And we have to become present and aware and willing to step into that version of ourselves that's aware of this and that's willing to deal with this situation. You have to be the person who is leading the charge in your own life, and you can't depend on other people to tell you that you are doing a good or not job. How have you changed over these past 6 months, 5 months, 5 days, however long this journey has taken you? And not necessarily just this Rewire and Refocus journey, but how has your life changed over these past however many years you want to look at, 5, 10, 15? How have you changed? What habits have you developed? Which ones have you let go of? Which ones do you want to pursue? How is being a healthy person reflected in every way that you can? from your spiritual to your mental to your emotional to your physical and to your financial freedoms. Those 5 freedoms that we talked about at the very beginning of this journey. How are you incorporating them today, and how are you pursuing the most authentic version of yourself through these 5 different freedoms? How are you encountering these different versions of yourself? And how are you saying yes to some and no to others? Have you let go of various decisions that you used to make, or ways that you react to situations that you no longer do? That's growth, and that's you choosing your health over friendships that aren't sustaining you, work relationships that aren't good for you, and continuing to incorporate people who don't want to be there, who don't want the best for you. The healthier you get, the less these behaviors that have kept you back will be attractive to you. You'll naturally just let them go because you're pursuing what's best for you. And for us to remember our why in the greatest sense, we have to come on to the idea of acceptance. Acceptance that life has unfolded the way that it has. We made that choice the way that we did it, and there's nothing that we can do about it. There's no amount of thinking or hoping or wishing that could change that awkward way that you said that sentence, or the misrepresentation of your thoughts through the way you said it. Nothing can be changed, and you have to accept that life has happened as it has, and that what happens next is your responsibility, and that you have the power to change it. And that acceptance will help you remember why you're doing things, because you are handing the responsibility back to the person who's always had it, you. You are accepting that everything that has happened in your life, the good, the bad, and everything in between, is your fault. It is the consequences of your choices. And those consequences can be good or bad based off of how we decide to look at them and based off of how we are approaching life. If there are good things that we're doing, if there are bad things, we can choose to change them. And that responsibility is always on us. 90% of things we can't control, but the 10% of the things that we can is how we react to life, how we react to others, how we show up when faced with adversity and problems and situations can all be turned into an opportunity. The obstacle then becomes the way forward. People and their behaviors will always show up in our life. They will always try to direct us in a certain path or try to make us feel something. But it is up to us to allow them to make us feel that way, because we ultimately have the ultimate power over our thoughts and emotions. And sometimes it's easier than not, but you get to decide, and you get to move forward or move backwards and decide which direction it's going to be. You get to move towards the person you want to be, or allow other people to keep you where you are. You can put whatever location you want, and the GPS will take you there, but you have to pick where the location is. And if you take a wrong turn, if you go down a different road, you can course correct. It may take longer, but you can still get there. There is no journey that is too far and that can't be done. Everything is possible. And once you accept that the power is within you to become or to not, then you will be able to see that the why is a little easier to pursue. The how becomes a little bit easier to deal with, and everything else starts to unfold. Because if we start well, it will continue to go well, because we are deciding that something bigger is driving us forward. It's not because somebody told us we couldn't. It's not because everybody else has done it. It's because we have truly decided that this is the path that we want to take. The people who have tried to hold us back are no longer in our way, because we choose to see past them. We choose to see that the possibilities exist, and that the more we pursue them, the more possibilities will unfold, because our lives are our own. Our reason for doing anything is ours, and we have the responsibility, and the reason behind it is our own. No one else gets to tell us what success looks like. Only we do. But we have to define it, and then we have to pursue it, and then we have to deal with every obstacle that comes along and keep going. Because you didn't come this far only to get this far. And the why is going to keep you going as long as you remember to look back to it. To the person that you want to be, to the person that would have inspired you when you were at that low place. And that is where we need to go. We are almost done with the Rewire and Refocus journey. There are other journeys that I want to go on with you. The next one being called the Engineering Toolbox. It is coming up on 5 years of me being an engineer. I've learned a great deal in the workplace of how we can think about projects and make sure that we're keeping on top of deadlines, and a lot of that can be used in our own life, and a lot of that structure I do use in my own life to make sure that I'm moving forward, but not always enough. So hopefully with this next journey, we can really start to implement all of the structure that we need to achieve these goals and to be able to look back and have a record of what we did. So that is coming up soon. We are almost done with this journey, and I am so grateful for every single one of you who has walked through this with me whenever you are doing it, and for choosing you. Not enough people are choosing their own path, and I want to congratulate you for doing that. It is an amazing decision, and one that is not easy to pursue because there's so many people telling you not to. But if you can listen to one voice, and that is your own, I hope you pursue that life that you've always wanted relentlessly and that you keep going. Wherever you are in the world, I hope you take advantage of the day and do something for you and the journey and the path that is meant for you. I hope you have an amazing week.